I'm not doing anything that's rocket science by any means. I just call immediately and get back to people immediately and strike while the iron's hot. Well, the reason that we're closing stuff and that we're booked for the rest of the year right now is one, do what you say you're going to do. Show up when you say you're going to show up. Call the damn leads. Get them numbers and ask for the business. It,
Hmm.
simple as that.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like rocket science.
It's not rocket science. It's just most people just won't do it. With one thing people should know is with the Facebook leads, they're going to get people messaging them on Saturday and on Sunday.
Hmm.
If you are not willing to answer your phone and your messages on Saturday or Sunday, you will not get the business. You
Hmm.
just won't. In this market, when somebody wants to do something, you've got to do it now.
Yeah, busy day.
Extremely busy. Just trying to figure out how to fit it all in, to be honest. Just had one that's scheduled for the third week of September. Just call and add another 9,000 square feet to it,
Oh,
plus some other stuff. Yeah, so it's thing it's crazy right now is the understatement that of the at minimum the year.
yeah. Well, it sounds like, I mean, at least you're busy and everything. So that's awesome.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, the big reason why I kind of like requested to like do this bit of an interview kind of style meeting is I like to do it when I'm hearing back from some of my guys, like they're getting their obviously the appointments in the calendar and everything like that, but then it sounds like you're going ahead and you're closing quite a few of them as well. Um, yes.
correct. Yep.
So can you tell me, I guess, a little bit about the process in that regard then? Like how are you reaching out to these guys? Like, how are you following up? Why are you, do you think you're seeing success in that regard?
Getting back to leads immediately.
Yeah.
It's that simple. I mean, if it's there's you see the shirts, the wristbands, the stuff all over. It says call the damn leads. It's not any more complicated than that. You just call them and you don't wait. Um, I'm having this much success right now because and it's hectic to do, but when one hits my phone within a minute, I've attempted to call them,
Yeah.
and I've also turned around and I've got email templates built into our CRM where as soon as it gets into the CRM, that initial email goes out. If I haven't talked to them, there's a different email that goes out. If I have talked to them, there's a different email that goes out if I've talked to them and they've confirmed the appointment or set a different appointment. So uh, it's not. I'm not doing anything that's rocket science by any means. I just call immediately and get back to people immediately and strike while the iron's hot.
Yeah.
That's it.
No, yeah. I think obviously I think that's a great tactic. Um, okay, then in that regard, when you go ahead, you go out and you do the appointment and everything. Um, let's say you're going ahead, you're giving them the estimate. Do you follow up with them right then and there when you're giving them the estimate, sending it over?
Absolutely. A lot of the times, actually, depending on what type of building is, but if it's just, for example, the one tomorrow at 10 a.m. is a commercial pole building. I'll email it to them right on the spot and say, when do you want to schedule?
Yeah.
If I'm feeling that it's something that the customer wants to go on with, I've given them ballpark numbers in the initial discussion, of whatever. For the one tomorrow, it's $4 per square foot.
Mhm.
So, he basically knows what it's going to be. Like, get the email over to him and, say, when would you like to schedule? If it's somebody that's upfront telling me that it's longer out, I'm getting them the email and putting them in the follow up for the next week. So
Gotcha.
it's situation specific, but it's for people. The reason that we're closing stuff and that we're booked for the rest of the year right now is one, do what you say you're going to do. Show up when you say you're going to show up. Call the damn leads. Get them numbers and ask for the business. It,
Hmm.
simple as that.
Yeah. It doesn't sound like rocket science.
It's not rocket science. It's just most people just won't do it.
Yeah. Okay. And then, so I hear a lot that there's kind of like when you're showing up and there's, you've got a roof to, go and take a look at. Let's say it's not, Well, I don't know. How do you strike the line between kind of like building a relationship with these guys, building rapport, building trust, and then going ahead and, giving them the estimate for the roof right away? Because obviously some roofs you go and see, they're in dire need of, a replacement. But like sometimes you can go there and I'm sure you could get away with repairs for a while, but it might be yeah, like it might be worthwhile for them to go ahead and do the replacement, but like it's kind of straddling that line. So how do you go ahead and like build a relationship versus just giving them the estimate without that prior rapport?
Well, it start of that relationship buildings goes back to doing what you say you're going to do, showing up on time, following up immediately, and then I bring, not necessarily a sales system, but our roofing system. I've got samples, I've got things, and I'm establishing the trust with explaining the process and the replacement, whichever it happens to be, if it's metal roof, it's membrane coating, or whatever it is, explaining that process with visuals like DMR sample or coating samples, spray foam samples, right on the spot, so that they can put it in their hands and see what the system is, because that at that point really sells itself. I'm no longer selling a product. They've got the system and then selling myself and my knowledge in the product. So that is where the success that on that aspect is coming. If it's somebody that just needs, they just say, okay, I just need this repaired. Well, most of the time, specifically on an MR system, if it's not TPO or membrane, which needs fabric reinforced or pond begun or whatever, the cost to have us come out to do whatever portion of a repair is really prohibited when they see the cost of repair versus the cost for replacement coating.
Hmm.
Um, and it's a pretty simple, hey, that this is what it is. If you just want us to come out and repair it, it's the same amount of time. If we just come out and do it all, it's this much for each. Not to mention, obviously, is the price will not go down. Our estimates are, we let people know that our price is only good for 15 days. And, it's going to go up after that 15 days.
Okay.
And that's really it in a nutshell. Is-
Yeah.
That's ringing through to the truck. Can't do that at this moment. Look at that. It's crazy.
All right.
Let's hope that answers your question anyway.
Yeah. So it sounds like you're
I'm
showing
good
up.
now. This is getting nutty.
It sounds like you're showing up and you're bringing the tools required to position yourself as the expert.
Yeah, you're
Okay.
coming and you're coming in with the system as the that,
Yeah.
that's the best way to say it. And knowledge, the hands-on showing them of the system and what's going to be done is how, we're getting people to say yes in a day or 2 days. Some of the much larger projects that we've taken on are starting. They're a little bit longer. They've got to go through board meetings, etc. But for your standard pole book building, the one tomorrow morning, the 10 a.m., like the 40 by 60s, the 80 by 100s, we're getting them to say yes a lot quicker by putting that system in their hands, putting that sample system in their hands and saying, this is what you're getting.
Yeah. Okay. And then the next thing I heard you say, you add some urgency. You say our prices that like our quote's only good for 2 weeks. Like I like that. I think a lot of guys could
Correct.
actually
Our,
benefit from that.
yep, yep, our estimates, this, I could probably pull right as I say it. It's, if this is something that you'd like to move forward with, you know, along with being almost booked for the rest of the year.
Hmm.
We are subject to price fluctuations. Our estimates and the estimate that you'll receive is only good for 15 days. At that point, it is subject to review and change. And that lets them know that, we're serious. If you want to do this, let's do this. Otherwise, the price is going up.
So that's another question I'm getting a lot, or at least another people are bringing it up a lot that they think people are waiting for the election to pull the trigger on like going ahead and like replacing the roof. Have you found that to be an issue? And do you think that that kind of time incentive that you put there helps a lot?
I do. And I've had no exaggeration, millions of dollars worth of estimates for bigger companies that have told me that exactly.
Yeah.
100%. They're saying, "Yep, we've got it allocated, but we're not spending the money right now. We're waiting and going to see what happens." Totally understand. Then you just have to change like we did and know that those are going to happen. They're not going to happen right now, but you've still got unbelievable opportunities to go get those 3,000, 6,000, 12,000 square foot jobs
Hmm.
that pay great and finish them in, a day. You don't, the bigger ones, yeah, we've heard that they're waiting on, but the smaller ones that we can do right now that people need done right now with that incentive of the 15-day time before the estimate is revised, I'm letting them know that if they want to move forward, we will put them on the schedule right now. They have to sign their estimate and contract and make their down payment, and they go on the schedule. And that's getting the people to say, okay, let's move forward.
Okay. And how do you nurture those bigger ones? Keep top of mind for them when it does come.
They're in both personal and automated follow up. So through Job Nimbus, we automate the follow up for those with a 2 week check in, and then I make personal phone calls to the whether it's the building manager, the facilities manager, the person making the decision. Just say hey, just checking in, just to seeing if there's anything that I can do to help, and leave it at
Gotcha.
that. I'm
Yeah.
not selling them anything at that point. I'm saying I'm here as a resource. How can I help you?
Gotcha. Okay. Just staying top of mind, really.
Yep,
That's
really,
great.
that's all it is.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And then switching gears a little bit, as far as I guess the whole system that we've implemented, how have you found it so far? Obviously, it sounds like it's going pretty well, but on your end.
It's going really well. Really well. What are we, a month in, two
Yeah.
months in, maybe? You could probably tell me the exact days. I don't know off the top of my head, but we're getting leads constantly. I mean, I was responding to people all weekend actually. With one thing people should know is with the Facebook leads, they're going to get people messaging them on Saturday and on Sunday.
Hmm.
If you are not willing to answer your phone and your messages on Saturday or Sunday, you will not get the business. You
Hmm.
just won't. In this market, when somebody wants to do something, you've got to do it now. So, and I am like went back and forth with the lady for, I don't know, probably an hour yesterday. And then she told me that she wanted to, she was quoted that, full metal replacement on their building was cheaper. And I said, no, it's not. To
Yeah.
tear that roof off and put it back on, if they've told you that, they are lying, or they haven't done their, or they don't know what they're doing, one of the two. So, but yeah, that, honestly, it's going great. We're getting the leads. I'm calling the leads. We're going to the booked appointments, and then just using our sales system. That's really it.
Yeah. Yeah. It sounds pretty straightforward. I mean, you're just going ahead. You are the expert, and then you're just going ahead and following up with these people, staying top of mind, and then I imagine not being too pushy at the end of the day, but still trying to close jobs.
You don't have to be pushy. You just, whatever other sales gurus out there tell you to do, I probably do the exact opposite.
Yeah.
I'm just upfront, honest, and educational, and then make sure I stay in touch. But I put realistic expectations on when we need to hear back if they want something done in this season. Like for
Mhm.
example, next year, with where we're already booking stuff out for next year, um, that I'll take that right into spring here in Minnesota. And Arizona will be a different story. I can't tell you exactly what that's going to be yet,
Mhm.
but this summer and the spring, it's going to be the same thing. We can absolutely do this project. We are ready to go. We already are booking out for 2025. If this is something that you want to accomplish this year, we need to know sooner or later. Also of note, our estimates are good for 15 days and are subject to review and change after 15 days. And it's just gets them moving just like that.
Yeah. Straightforward, simple stuff. Well, beautiful.
Correct. Yeah, there's
Wow.
no magic flows. There's no, I do not do the start at a 200% profit and work down to whatever to get them to close. It's a base set price and let the expertise in the system sell itself.
And that's the nice thing too, when you have so much demand, you have the luxury of like, not having to try and utilize any tactics or anything like that to kind of squeeze every last drop out of everything because I mean, you just don't have the time to go ahead and complete all the jobs necessarily. So
No,
you,
we're turning jobs down right now.
yeah.
But if we don't want to do it, we're not doing it. If it's not our bread and butter, we're not pursuing them.
So you're
And we
finding,
let them know that. And we let people know that up front. We say, this really doesn't fit our, really doesn't fit our model.
yeah.
We think you'd be better off talking to X.